The Brian Crabtree Show on Demand is brought to you by Snelling's Walters Insurance. More than an advisor, an advocate. SnellingsWalters.com. The Brian Crabtree Show, live in Atlanta, afternoon starting at 4 on Biz 1190, Biz1190.com, and the Biz 1190 mobile app. Brian Crabtree. The Brian Crabtree Show.
All right, good to have you on the program, leading you into the weekend. At Brian Crabtree on Twitter, talk40.com online. That's where you find the follow-up to the program, where it continues virtually 24/7. I want to play you something, the lead with Jake Tapper yesterday. This is CNN's Phil Mudd talking about the way Trump is handling a number of things, from North Korea, intelligence, the Justice Department, to the Trump-Russia collusion. Take a listen.
A former government official. Government's going to kill this guy. He defends Vladimir Putin. Their State Department and CIA officers are coming home. And at Langley and in Foggy Bottom, CIA and State, they're saying, this is how you defend us? We saw the same thing in his transgender comments. What is the military saying to him on transgender? Show us the policy. You know what that means inside government? Ain't going to happen. What did the Department of Justice say on Paul Manafort? You can say what you want. A judge told us we had cause to search his home early in the morning because we don't trust the guy who was your campaign manager. Government's going to kill this guy because he doesn't support him.
All right, so let me translate that for you. That's Washington bubble speak. I'm not taking anything away. That's true thinking in Washington. We don't have any control anymore. It's the unelected bureaucrats in government and the appointed judges with long-term or lifelong appointments that ultimately control our government, and anyone who tries to reorder things back to what the Constitution says it should be, well, they are going to get killed. Now, I think he meant figuratively, hyperbolic discussion there, but sometimes one would wonder, wouldn't they? This is what Drain the Swamp feels like, and that's why it's so toxic, folks. One other point I want to leave you with this week. People have asked me, I was on Dr. Gina Loudon's show. She was on Hannity last night on Fox News. Was on with her fill-in guest, answering the question, why in the world are stock prices not going up even higher, given that most of what we've seen in the Dow Jones number at 22,000 is astronomical, but because they baked Trump and deregulation into it, now, on top of that, unexpectedly, profits are through the roof, but the stock prices are just kind of sitting there. Well, it's simple. What's happening is that the Trump bump, the Trump optimism in the stock market was overblown because they didn't anticipate the amount of volatility and pushback that the left would push in to politics. And so they have discounted now what they think they baked into the stocks for Trump optimism and deregulation. But because, thank God for Trump and everybody else, because of the fact the record profits are so big. I mean, they're so shocking and so unsurprising. They didn't expect them. That's made up for it. So you have two downward pressures on the market right now. Trump trying to correct those higher expectations due to political gridlock. You have the threat with North Korea. You look at the stock market. They obviously aren't terribly concerned about it, but a little bit of downward pressure. But the profits are so high that Trump, regardless of it, the stock market's still soaring. But here's the thing. If the left were out of the way and you had the Trump optimism and the record profits, forget North Korea. They don't seem to care in the stock market. Your IRAs would be going up as fast as a jet airplane. You can thank the left that it's not. Can you imagine how high the stock market would really go and the economy could really go without the Trump-Russia collusion distraction?
The Brian Crabtree Show.
The Brian Crabtree Show on Demand is brought to you by Snelling's Walters Insurance. More than an advisor, an advocate. SnellingsWalters.com. The Brian Crabtree Show, live in Atlanta, afternoon starting at 4 on Biz 1190, Biz1190.com, and the Biz 1190 mobile app.